The unintended consequences has been that certain banks are pulled out altogether on the basis that they don't want to take the risk of being exposed to these astronomical fines. And some countries, and I can mention Belize, has been left completely without correspondent banking services, making it virtually impossible for Belize, not having a correspondent bank, to be able to make cross-border payments to pay for their imports. That is a stab of death, because if you depend on imports that you have to pay for and you're unable to pay for them, then you will not be able to order equipment, goods, and other items that you need to keep your economy running. Bank of America pulled out of Belize. Belize now is surviving only that payments are being processed by the central bank, which is quite unusual, until this problem could be resolved. Here in St. Martin, as well as other islands in the Caribbean, the same threat exists. In fact, some banks have already indicated to certain customers, close your accounts, as I've reported previously. If this grows to the situation that we now experience in Belize, St. Martin imports virtually everything and will not be able, without having a correspondent bank processing those payments, be able to import. The problem has the intention of the entire Caribbean, and this delegation that I mentioned to you went to Washington. It consisted of the Minister of Finance of Curacao, the President of the Central Bank and his supporting staff, and we met with the Department of Justice of the United States, the Treasury of the United States, the State Department of the United States. We met with the Cato Institute, and we met with representatives of the White House to plead our case that the unintended consequences, as far as AML and CFT is concerned, could result in St. Martin, Curacao, Aruba, falling in the same situation as Belize. This is a serious matter, and a matter which also Mexico faced. And the United States was able to make some exceptions for Mexico and find a solution to be able to avoid a situation like that occurring in Mexico. We are substantially compliant as a country with all of the AML, CFT requirements. And based on that, we're asked these departments we visited that we would like to also make the arrangements similar to that of Mexico for the Dutch Caribbean islands. And I'm pleased to report that we did not get a negative reaction, and that steps, as we speak, are being taken to see if a similar arrangement could apply for the Dutch Caribbean islands.
Need a loan that's quick and easy. Island Finance. Up to 50,000 guineas Life is a journey full of connections. You're in safe hands even when life starts too soon. You don't have to miss a single beat. When a bad hair day makes you sad, just sharing can bring you joy and more to come. They take the plunge, turn fear into faith, while you capture those beautiful moments. In the game of life, it's family that counts. They'll be there even when you lose. We all have our moments of reflection and hope. And when you feel you're losing everything in life, we're there because there's more to come. When life starts too soon, you don't have to miss a single beat. We're here to connect you and share life. Telcel, when you want more.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
The so-called authoritative newspaper in Holland, the Financial Daily, Financieel Dagblad, published an opinion where they say that it's time now to stop what's going on in the Central Bank of Curaçao and Sint Maarten. The Central Bank of Curaçao and Sint Maarten is dysfunctional because there was a major fraud of an insurance company in Holland. And that fraud extended itself all the way to Curaçao, where all the revenues of that company has been embezzled in front of our own eyes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you that as they correctly stated, it is an insurance company in Holland. It's called the so-called HDI Geerling. So it falls under supervision of the Dutch Central Bank and not the Central Bank of Curaçao and Sint Maarten, and it refers to a case that happened in 2008 and with a subsidiary in Aruba. So it doesn't have anything to do with us. It doesn't have anything to do with Curaçao or Sint Maarten. It is a case that took place in Holland with a subsidiary in Aruba. Yet, the Financieel Dagblad tried to construe a story and publish that as if the Central Bank of Curaçao and Sint Maarten was responsible for the fraud in Holland and the consequences it had for the company in Aruba. So it's just to show you how false this statement is. And all that has been recently published, I will detail to you that all of them are just lies and fabrication. But before I start, or before I go into detail, let me just put the context within which I think supervision ought to be analyzed. As you know, not only here, but everywhere we have seen that supervision, at least a supervision where there is no problem, is an illusion. We have seen recently the financial crisis that happened in 2008 in the United States with its consequences for Europe. And afterwards, we have seen cases where big banks in the United States, we all remember Lehman Brothers, Washington Mutual, Countrywide Financial, Bear Stearns, and in Holland there were also many bank crises where banks as Texeira de Matos, Tilburgse Hypotheekbank, DSB Bank, and others went under. There were also, we all recall, in the so-called Great Recession that started in 2008, where banks as Bank of America, Citibank, AIG, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, etc., would have not survived if it was not for the assistance of the American government or the Federal Reserve Bank. And in Holland also, we have seen many bank crises, and recently the Aegon, SNS, iSafe, ING. And despite that, we have seen that worldwide, since 2008, there were many bank crises in the world, and even countries and jurisdictions like Holland that pretend to have the best supervision in the world, and oftentimes think that they can teach us what supervision is all about. I can tell you for the last 30 years, during the period which I had the honor to serve as president of the central bank, we did not have any bank crisis in Curacao or St. Martin. So our track record is clear, and despite the country, despite all the attempts that are being made, try to portray as if our supervision is not good, I mean, our record indicates the contrary. So we have proven that we are serious about our supervision, and despite all the crises worldwide, it did not have any consequences for our banks or pension funds or insurance company because of the supervision we have been exercising on the financial sector. But what have we done with what has happened? When that happened, we did not start criticizing the Dutch Central Bank or saying that we do not trust their supervision. What we have done is we took the initiative and we created a supervisory college where all the central banks of the kingdom can get together, where we can discuss issues pertaining to supervision and see what lessons can be drawn from the experiences that the world has had during those crises.
Oh my, what an inventory list, and so unnecessary. But wait, your home contents are all insured by Be Sure. That means that you determine the amount you want to insure. No inventory list, no hassle.
Are you Be Sure? Be Sure.
Bob, I can understand why you're parking so carefully. Of course, when you can get 80% discount on your Be Sure car insurance. But that's overdoing it, Bob.
Are you Be Sure? Be Sure.
Yeah!
Here we go. This is freedom, this is life. Happiness is all I'm seeking. Carpe diem, I'm seizing every day, not just the weekend. Here's to all the good times that have come to last. Here's to living in the now.
When you can afford what you crave, life just gets so good.
Alive and I'm feeling good, so good, so good, so good. Hey, I'm gonna live my life, feeling good, so good, real good, so
KFC, so good for everyone.
These are the doors that never close. These are the hands that make a difference. These are the walls that could tell countless stories of helping and healing, of storms weathered, of change and growth, of a place where life begins, where hearts are mended, and where hope grows stronger. For more than a quarter of a century, the physicians, medical professionals, and staff of St. Martin Medical Center have combined advanced medical technology and compassionate care to bring a world of medicine to our friends, neighbors, and visitors to the island of St. Martin we all call home. As proud as we are of what we have accomplished, we believe there is still much work to do to continue a proud tradition of providing everyone in our community with the latest technology, the best medicine, and the most exceptional care. St. Martin Medical Center, celebrating 25 years of serving, caring, healing.
Hello everyone, my name is Jerome York and I currently attend into the pre-USM here in St. Martin. I've been there for 10 months now. That was since September. And I actually came from the PBL level, and so it's a program for all PBL, PKL, and TKL students who previously was in high school. And this would be a helping hand for all the students who decided to study at USM here in St. Martin, just to help you academically on a higher level. And I wouldn't say it's a fast forward. I wouldn't say it's fast forwarding, but it's just a helping hand, and just for you to take school more seriously. And that's why I choose to start the pre-USM last year.
Well, my name is Makita James, and I'm currently a student at pre-USM. Basically, what this program is about is it's basically helping the students who came from a lower stream of high school level, and basically helping us to push ourselves to a better position where we could be able to catch up with the children who graduated from like the PBL and the higher streams. So pre-USM basically is like a building block, like my other colleague said. It helps us to feel that after high school there is actually something for us to do to further our studies.
My name is Tammy Zhang. I am a student here at the pre-USM. What the pre-USM is a program that is for the lower vocational students that have finished vocational stream and couldn't enroll into universities elsewhere. This program is a building block for that. I have graduated from the Milton Peters College, TKL, and I couldn't get into a college, so I enrolled in this pre-USM program, and it's really, really great. The teachers is nice. They guide you through every process, but they don't hold your hand to do it. They don't spoon feed you. They guide you in the track, and you have to set your way.
Start off, my name is Tristan Defoe. Started here in September, 2 weeks after the program actually started. At USM, I'm taking this program called the pre-USM. Been doing it for about 10 months now. So far it's been going great. Seen a lot of progress in myself as much as my work, but there's always, room for even more progress. My purpose here is actually, to set a foundation for myself, help build a core where I could actually, go more into what I really want to do. So I'm really hoping and praying that it's very beneficial that I could actually support my own dreams. But in other words, the program is really fun, and I'm hoping to see even more improvement next year for the other upcoming pre-USM students.
Well, when I came to St. Martin like 2 years ago or so, the first thing I did, I had an old-time friend, Carlos, so I would jump on his school bus, and I would sit in that school bus, and I would listen and find out what is going on, and he would speak to me, and I would speak to other persons. Debbie of the ICANN Foundation, to try and understand what was going on. In the Dutch Quarter, I would sit there and people would say, "You're the new dean," because then I was dean. How can we actually, how can my son or daughter go to school again? And then I would ask, "What degree does your son or daughter have?" And then they would say, "Yeah, she graduated from Sundial or so." And then I would think, yeah, she misses the link to be able to study at the USM or whichever university. And I thought, it's not good enough to tell someone, "Well, I can't help you." When someone asks for your help, it is of consequence that you actually say, "Let me see and let me think outside of the box to see what I can do for you." And sitting in those school buses and speaking to those parents or those youngsters made me realize, but wait a minute. These boys and girls actually have more brains than anyone have given them credit for. And if they have that, we have to build something that allows them to actually transition into the university. So that's the way the pre-USM started. I sat down together with then, she was not MP yet, Tamara Leonard. She was a businesswoman then. We sat down, we thrashed it out. I spoke to Claret Corner. I spoke to Antonia Venturin. I spoke to Calvin Martenborg, and I said, we have to do something. Let's work and get this done. And slowly together, we got it done. So now we have the pre-USM, we have the GED, someone that people are proud of, Keon Carty, our cricket star. This cricket star sat here at the university and he did his GED. We can be proud of his sporting achievements, but let us also be proud that the boy took the time to come to the USM to make sure he now has a degree. And maybe later on he will go forward and actually achieve better and greater and better things.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
Most of the time when somebody is diagnosed with prostate cancer, you don't have to straight away run to the doctor, go to get it out and do something about it. Because it's a slow-growing cancer. And as you can see, only a quarter of the people, it spreads to other organs, and that can take weeks, months, years. Yeah? So 60% of new cases of prostate cancer are found in men of 60 years and older. And then a few pictures. How would you know if you have prostate cancer? Well, I can't feel my prostate unless I go through my anus, and that's what the doctor will do then. He goes, and as you can see, his hand is right there. Right? So the finger is feeling on the anus, and you're feeling on top and trying to feel the prostate. Yeah? And that's not uncomfortable. There are much bigger things going in the stool, coming out, and so on, than the finger, right? And my finger is not that big, right? So, okay. Anyway, so that's the rectal examination. That's where you can find how the prostate is feeling, and you can feel the size of the prostate. Also, you can feel if there's any irregularity on the surface. So you might feel little lumps, you might feel a cyst, you might feel tumors on the sides of the prostate. Okay, rectal exam is very important. So research has shown that about 40% to 55% you find something on your finger. And you don't find it, I find it on my finger, right? Because when I do the exam, then I can feel some abnormalities. But that's not a 100% guarantee, right? So there's still a lot of people, 50% or more, who we will not find by just a rectal exam. So even if you don't feel anything, there's still a chance that you have prostate cancer. But it's the first thing we always do, is do a rectal exam. Now there is the PSA, prostate specific antigen, that's a test in the blood. And if you had asked me 10 years ago, I would have recommended everybody every year check your PSA. But it's changed. PSA was the prostate specific antigen, it was a test to show, hey, there is prostate cells. There's prostate cancer cells. So that will be easy if you can just test it on that. But then we found, so that's what it's called. But then we found out that prostate antigen is a protein that's made by the epithelial cells of the prostate gland. It's normally present in detectable amounts, so a small amount. So if you have too much of it, we were saying in the old days, well, you have prostate cancer.